Welcome everybody to another episode of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Minimalist Run. And we're just about finishing up here with the Spirit Temple. We've got a little bit more left to go, and then we're onward to Ganon's Fortress. But before that, we have, I think, one more real puzzle to get through. And honestly, this is a combination of several different themes, or I guess puzzle elements that you've encountered earlier in the dungeon. But now they're kind of bringing it together in one final test of critical thinking, if you will. Those Lizalfos are practically nothing. Although we have a different type of bubble here that I don't think you can find anywhere else in the game. And so obviously you're going to have to do something with these sun switches and these mirrors, which you only encountered the mirrors once before. Yeah, these bubbles are different in that they just kind of fly along a weird circular set path and they stop in midair, but they don't really actually track you down or go after you as an enemy. So for that, they're not as harmful as some of the other bubbles that you found and encountered earlier in the game. That certainly wasn't suspicious at all. So the most obvious thing you need to do is angle this towards the other mirror. The only other mirror that you can find in this this dungeon room here. It's an easy puzzle overall, and honestly, if you think about it, it's like the developer just stalling for time until you get to the boss at this point. Yeah, because if you notice the big mirror out in the main room here, it's quite clear what you need to do here. I don't trust that chest. Not opening it. But before we go any further, there's one last thing we need to do. I don't even know why they bother with the Triforce symbol anymore. I mean, by this point, it's no longer a puzzle. You already know what you need to do. I just don't know why they bother with it anymore. Bringing back the torch slugs for some reason. Let's see here. There is one thing we need to do. You have to open up one of these fake doors, figure out which one is the one that's hiding the eye switch, and then bomb it. And this is something you've had to learn from the Fire Temple. Bombing those fake doors and all. And now we have an extra block we can work with. And now we have our boss key. We can actually reach the boss proper. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the final boss key of the game. I could be wrong. There might be one in Ganon's Tower, but this is the last official one. That's actually worth something. That was an interesting thing for the pot to go way high like that. Now, I remember playing this for the first time. I had no idea what to do next. Like, the game doesn't exactly tell you what you need to do, but since the light is shining on you, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to shine the light onto this face until it crumbles away from the light. That is actually kind of a difficult puzzle to figure out if you're not clear what to do. And then, of course, you got a hook shot over there through the grating. So, two different weird puzzle concepts that they didn't really teach you beforehand before having to thrusting you into it, and then you're gonna have to figure it out on the fly. And here we meet Kulm and Kotek. with ear-piercing laughs. You can just hear the compression in that audio there. These are fun characters. I mean, I like them for what they are, two little witches. I just wish they were introduced a lot sooner in the game so you had more of an attachment to try and bring them down, you know, as villains, but they're fun for what they are. Oh, what happened? Oh, here we go. Forgot his axe. We get to face an Iron Knuckle yet again, but this one is way more decked out. But the way of defeating it is just about the same. You gotta get close until he attacks, back off, and then jump attack him, and then just rinse and repeat. Again, he's still a one-hit kill, 4 heart damage for any axe swing, so one mistake will brutally punish me. I might need some hearts. And lo and behold, this was not an Iron Knuckle. They have conscripted Naburu into their service to try and fight us. An easy way for potentially them to get rid of a nuisance, you know, Link killing her. But apparently that's not the case. Link's not going to kill her. So they're going to have to conscript her again against her will. Little girl. I wonder how old Naburu is. Gonna have to save Naburu again by killing these witches. Which is funny because they didn't decide to kill Link right here and now in this room. Nope, you're gonna have to go to the proper dungeon boss room to fight them proper there. Now this is an interesting battle. It actually takes part in 2 phases. The first phase I find is a little bit trickier and more difficult than the second phase. And I'll explain that in a moment while we get to fighting here. Are those her teeth dangling underneath her maw there? Yeah, those are her teeth. Oh my goodness. That's kind of creepy. Now, Gebora said you need to turn the magic back against them, but you do not need to turn the magic back against the sister that casted it. And that's where the trickiness of this battle comes into play. See, there's Kum, which is has the power of fire, and then Kotek, which has the power of ice. And this is the difficult part because they need to both be in frame. So yeah, I could block this magic and return to her all day long, but if Kum is not in the shot, is not in the frame to receive that magic, like here, oh, that would have been perfect. See, it's all luck-based in many instances. There's going to be a lot of instances like this where they're just not in prime position for you to reflect magic from one to the other. That was actually kind of close. Trying to figure out where the heck Kum was. They're just not giving me any opportunities at all to work this magic here. Now here it is. Here we go. Nope. Boom was way out of frame there. There was no way she was going to get in frame to pull that off. Here we go. This should work. Ah, perfect. And then he switched to the other one because he targeted the other one, and it, for some reason, didn't work. just not giving me any opportunities, are they? Except for this one. This is a prime opportunity. Ah, there we go. That's what you needed to do. That is how you damage these sisters. You take one magic from the other and give it to the other sister that can't handle it. And again, we're going to be doing it with fire to ice. Oh, unless they fly off like that. So really, the battle itself isn't hard. It's just, it's a battle of attrition and patience, and being aware of your surroundings. And wondering why that never works. We're probably going to be spending a lot of time here, everybody. Let's do this. I don't understand. I like that. There's a symbol in the magic circle that they... perfect. A symbol in the magic circle right before they cast their magic. Like, Coom has the symbol of the Gorons, the little fire paw symbol. Whereas Kotek, she has a symbol, I think, of the water tribe, the Zoras, right before she casts her magic. That's a nice little detail. I like that. This is prime target. Come on. Eventually, they're going to have to wise up and realize this isn't going to work against Link any longer. And honestly, the game developers probably could have made this particular battle a little bit harder than it is, because compared to the last battle, Bongo Bongo, this is nothing. This is super easy. Now they're going to wise up. And this is where the battle actually gets simpler. It gets easier. You think, oh gosh, second phase is going to be harder than the first. No, I actually find this to be easy. Now the battle changes up a little bit. You still need to turn the magic attack against them, but now you have to count. She does fire. Okay, now you're powering up the mirror shield. It's not going to reflect it back right away. Just fire again. So now you need to get a third fire to have enough power in that mirror shield to reflect it back at her. Okay. Oh gosh. This is me being a derp. And only getting one hit in. This is beyond funny. Okay, now remember, she just did one ice, so she's gonna do another ice. We're gonna power up her shield. Second ice, but remember, she did a first ice right before we were able to climb back up onto the platform. She does 3 in a row to start off with, so she's back to fire. You put the fire on the mirror shield, that negates any ice power-up you've done so far on the shield, and vice versa. She's gonna have to do 3 fires before she goes back to ice. You don't want to have the mirror shield contacting any of the fire, otherwise there's no point for the 2 ices that we just stocked up on the shield. There we go, that's what we're talking about. Now let's try not falling off the platform. She's actually kind of an intimidating boss, you know, presence-wise. But overall, super easy. Easier even than some of the earlier bosses like Phantom Ganon and Volvagia. This is for such a late-game boss. This is kind of disappointing. For all their build-up, the witches are just... Oh, here we go. Switching it up. Later, the more damage you do to her, the more she switches it back and forth between the ice and the fire. And then I think towards the end, it's random whenever she's going to do fire or ice. go, we got some double damage there. Should be able to have one more flurry of attacks and she should be done by then. And there's not much more to say about this boss. This is all that's left of this battle. You gotta be aware when she switches it up like that. That's it. I will say that she has the most interesting design. And just like that, the old witches of the Gerudo are no more. And then we get this nice little funny interlude. It's hilarious to me that despite all the evil deeds they have done, supposedly they still ascend to heaven regardless. I don't understand that. This little bit is funny. They're twins and yet they're still fighting over their age. It goes to show how petty these witches are. Wow, that audio compression is just ear-piercing. There's the last heart container we can pick up. Let's ignore it and keep going. And we meet the final sage, which is, unsurprisingly at this point, Nabooru. The one we know so little about. Like, we barely know anything about her, other than she was planning to use Link to get the Silver Gauntlets. That's really about it. Even she's surprised that she's the Sage of Spirit. I'm pretty sure like all of us. So with that, we finally have the last medallion. The Medallion of Spirit. Even the developers had nothing much for her to say to begin with. Because there's just so little character development of Nabooru here in the game. There's not much for her to say to Link. And now there's one last reminder, which actually happens either at the end of the Shadow Temple or this temple. Whichever you finish last, this little sequence happens. Uru has to remind you, don't forget, there's one person who's waiting for you, and just in case you didn't know where to go to the Temple of Time. The developers have a way of saying, hey, this is how you continue the next part of the game, because you may not figure it out on your own. So, we're going to go there in the next episode, but until then, see y'all later. Gosh, I love this music.